Hello, and welcome to something different on the channel. Yep, as you can see, clearly not Dragon Ball content, but I think technically an even more popular anime. I think Pokemon is a high grossing franchise. I'm pretty sure it is. It's the biggest grossing franchise in the world. But I'm getting distracted. Yeah, technically not the first time doing Pokemon content on the channel. Due to my amazing Scarlet and Violet playthrough, which, lasted so many episodes. But today we're going to be playing Pokemon Infinite Fusion. And fun fact, I've never played this game before, and I've thought it looked really cool, and I've been really eager to play it. So I thought, why not play it on the channel? My initial idea was to do a anime slash Dragon Ball themed playthrough where, like, I know there's certain fusions which look like Dragon Ball characters, but after doing some research, there aren't that many, and it would be a bit of a chore to actually find all the Pokemon. But we're gonna go through this playthrough and hopefully try and make some if we can. Yeah, as you can see, we are going to be doing a randomized playthrough. Not a Nuzlocke, and still going to be kind of hardcore. You'll see what I mean. I'm going to try. Okay, so there's going to be like some loose rules where if a Pokemon dies in a battle, we won't use it anymore. We may diffuse it to use their parts for something else, but as you'll see in this video, there may be some exceptions to that rule. But just at the moment, we're just setting up the randomizer settings. Yeah, like I said, I haven't played this game before, so hopefully the settings I picked are pretty good. I am playing the game on hard mode, which I've heard is quite considerably difficult on this game. So I would say I'm looking forward to that, but with the knowledge of hindsight, I can't say that's the case. But yeah, let's get into it. So just skipping over the intro because I don't know. I can't decide how in depth I'm going to go with this playthrough. I'm probably not going to go like super in depth just because you don't need me narrating a bunch of text on screen. But currently our mum is just sending us on our way, and she's just asked us about what the boy next door is called, aka our rival. And I decided to be very mature in picking the name I wanted to give to my rivals, so I went with a nice sensible Mike. I also gave him a surname, completely unrelated, don't read into that at all. So our rival is Mike Oxmoor, just a completely normal name. Yeah, so we're going to be off to go find him. And speak of the devil, here he is, waiting for us. Oh, it's so good to hear Gen 1 music again. I haven't played the Gen 1 games in a long time, so it's quite nostalgic while also being very refreshing. So Blue just telling us that Professor Oak has gone to Viridian, and here he is. Warning us obviously not to go in the grass. Iconic. And we are going to get to choose our starters for our journey. So the starters in this game are also randomized, as you can see. So our first option was a Growlithe and a Nidorina. Then we have a Pidgeeva, so a Pidgey and a Vibrara. And our third option is a Jumpto, which is a Ditto and a Jumpluff. Looks very odd. So I do really like Flygon, but I feel like the no-brainer is to go for Growlithe and Nidorina. So that's what we've gone with, Growlino. We will not be giving nicknames because, as we will see, some of the fusion names are quite humorous. But getting into our first rival battle, let's see what good old Mike has picked. And he's gone with Jumpto, which, yeah, interesting pick. I wonder if it has Transform off the get-go. I don't believe it will. We already have a pretty good move pool to start with. Peck and Bite, pretty good coverage. Nothing Stab, obviously, but it shouldn't be too long before we get Ember. Just going with a Peck. Super effective because Jump Look gives it a Grass type, I believe. It's already doing super effective damage, so it's looking like quite an easy battle. Absorb doing pretty much nothing because I think we're Poison and Fire. I think we took the Poison type from Nidorino, not the Ground type. And yep, pretty straightforward battle. Probably the easiest we're going to get against Mike in this playthrough. And as I said, we learned Ember straight away, so now we also have a stab move. I'm a bit concerned here because gaining a lot of XP for one battle, and I've had to check just to make sure I was on hard mode, but in hindsight, I wish I did get this much XP per battle, because we're going to find out soon that run into some issues, but learning double kick as well as Ember after one battle, which is, yeah, very useful. I guess the cool thing about this game is that you learn the movesets that both Pokemon could learn, so that's quite interesting. Yeah, even though this is my first time playing the game, I do know some things about it. I've watched a couple of videos, but I think obviously the beauty of the game is that there's so many different combinations of Pokemon that is still quite a new experience. So, on our way already, off to Viridian City. And just before we get there, we have our first encounter, although we have no Pokeballs, but let's see what we're going to get. And this is a combination of a Shinx and a Togetic, and what a beautifully randomly generated name it has been given. So yes, we've come across a Shitik, which you guys will have no idea, but Luxray is actually one of my favourite Pokemon. So I'm going to try and encounter that later. And also Togekiss is also a really good Pokemon, and I just really love the name Shitik, so yeah. Like I said, I'm not following strict rules, but I'm going to try and keep it to like one encounter per route, but not the first encounter, if that makes sense. Like, if I see an encounter I like, that's the encounter I'll pick as my one encounter. There may be some exceptions for this if I come across a really cool Pokemon that I just really want to have. Yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to be super strict. Maybe if this goes well, I'll do a more hardcore Nuzlocke. I've never really actually done a hardcore Nuzlocke, but it would be cool to try it on this game. So, going to the Pokemon, need to go get a Professor Oak's package. And we also get some DNA splicers as a part of the promotion. So DNA splicers are what you use to fuse and unfuse Pokemon in this game, so very useful and a very cool addition. So returning back to Professor Oak's lab, and giving him the parcel. And we finally got our Pokeballs, so now we can actually get some encounters. So he's going to give us our Pokedex as well. Normally he would ask us to complete the Pokedex, but as you can see, 175,000 combinations due to fusion. So even Professor Oak acknowledges that it's not very practical. Perhaps the new professors should acknowledge that as well, with how many Pokemon there are these days. I'm curious to know, does anyone actually still try and complete the Pokedex these days? I mean, I gave up on that long ago. But yeah, now that we finally have Pokeballs, we can finally try and get our first encounter, which, like I said, I'm wanting it to be a Shitik, and we actually get another beautifully named Pokemon, I would say, in Pedos, and not looking to have any nonsense on the team, so we will not be getting Pedos. But as I mentioned, looking for this Shitik, and there we go, a Shitik. Yeah, it's worth pointing out that our Growlithe has Intimidate, which is obviously a very good ability. Shinx can have Intimidate as an ability, but the fact that it's not popped off there indicates that this Shitik does not have it. So we need to check what ability it does have. But a couple of bites gets it nice into the red, and we're just going to try and catch it. And there we go, adding a nice little shit to the team. Oh, sorry, Shitik, my bad. Yeah, just beautiful naming convention. But honestly, a really good addition. Like I said, Luxray is one of my favourite Pokemon, but the Pokemon Company does not give it any respect. It should be Dark Electric as a typing combination, and it's not. And its move pool is honestly pretty rubbish. But hopefully with Togekiss, it can get some interesting move combinations and abilities, and obviously we can also decide to unfuse and then fuse it with something else, which might make a better combination, but we'll have to see. And we're just going to pop back to the Pokemart to get some more Pokeballs hopefully, and maybe some more DNA splices. So you can see here, just buying a few. So you can get super splices, which also result in a higher level Pokemon, but we're just going to get the regular ones for now. Yeah, I thought it was a bit weird, but this person wasn't selling Pokeballs, which I thought was a bit odd. A white flag, which allows you to leave a trainer battle, but no Pokeballs. And then we also have this man next to us, so I just want to see what he had to tell us. And he actually has a gift for us. So we got a Blazarus. So, I mean, I obviously figured out the first part was a Blaziken, but I had no idea what the second part was. So we need to go see what we've just been given. And as cool as a Blaziken is, we can see that what a sprite that is. It's been combined with a Paris. So we have a Blaziken and a Paris combination, which, yeah, interesting to say the least. We do already have a fire type, but I mean Blaziken's Blaziken, but paired with an unfortunate partner, Paris, and Parasect being awful Pokemon, so we may need to unfuse. But just skipping ahead a bit, I thought this was quite funny. This kid is talking about how his dad named his Nidoran. I was like, oh, what's he named it? I just called it Midoran, so he clearly thinks very highly of his Pokemon. The disrespect. Yeah, so decided to go left instead of going to Pewter City, just thinking that maybe I could get another encounter. And we have our first trainer battle. Then got a Lady Penny, which is a Happiny and a Ladybird, which is interesting looking sprite. Can't say I'm exactly very scared of it, but I saw first battle using the big man himself, Shitik, but he doesn't really have much in the way of moves. In terms of attacking moves, he's got Tackle, and if you get lucky with Metronome, you could get an attacking move, but who knows. So just gonna go into Growlithe. And as you can see, Ember does a lot of damage, and we get the burn, so we kill it in one attack bit essentially. So yeah, so far the game seems... I mean, we are playing on hard difficulty, but... You know, it's a Pokemon game, so how hard can it really be? How hard can it really be? Oh, another trainer battle. Like I said, the last one was easy, so I'm sure this one's going to be nice and simple. And this guy is going to send out a Kakmar, which... Honestly, the sprite is really cool for, what is it, a Kakuna fusion, but obviously Kakuna fused with Magmar. Cool looking Pokemon. But yeah, I can't say I was too worried. Magmar's a decent Pokemon, but Kakuna obviously only has Harden, so can't exactly say I'm worried. So we're going to try and... So I decided to stay in with Shitik and see if we can beat it on our own. But we got Volt Switch with Metronome, so we're going to switch out anyway. We can see we did a lot of damage anyway, so we're going to switch into Gralvino, because... Oh, we're going to switch into Blazarus even. That's a very awkward name to say. The sprite looks very odd in the overworld, but... Yep. Oh, this is a misplay here, and... For some reason I'm confused Mudsport with Mud Slap, thinking that Mudsport does damage when it doesn't, so that was embarrassing on my part. I guess the beauty of having a channel that's dedicated to mainly Dragon Ball content is that I shouldn't hope to have too many Pokemon experts in the chat, in the comments, so hopefully I won't get flamed too much for my gameplay. I'm very much a casual player. But yeah. So clearly Blazarus couldn't do anything, so we're switching back into Shitik. And just going to finish off the job of a tackle after some mark hits. Yeah, I mean, nice easy fight, and I wonder what he's got next. Oh, Blazarus is going to get Ember, so a nice stab move and an actual attacking move. And he sends out a Diverse, which is obviously a Dino and a Feebas combined, which I thought was hilarious. I know, just a derpy looking Pokemon. Had no concerns at all. And then, we're about to find out, I noticed something. That's right. These early stage Dragon Pokemon have Dragon Rage, which, if you didn't know, does base 40 damage, which obviously at such an early stage of the game is devastating, because as you can see, our highest level Pokemon, Gralvino, only has 33 damage hit points. So a Dragon Rage is obviously just going to completely destroy us, taking out our two strongest Pokemon, leaving us with Blazarus, which is only level 5, and as you can imagine, it's not going to fare very well. Ember doing very little damage, as it is a water and dragon type, and we have fainted. So yeah, already at our first wipe, despite me previously saying that the game was easy. And this is also why I will not be following the hardcore rules super strictly, because that would have had to result in us dying all over again, because we would have lost all of our Pokemon straight away in one fight. So I feel like it's slightly unfair to go up against a Dragon Rage Pokemon. I'm sure there was a way we could have won the fight, but I'm also trying to avoid using items in battle. So yeah, avoiding that trainer now, I'm going to see what our Route 2 encounters are. So for our Route 2 encounter, we come across a... what a weird looking Pokemon. A Teddigon, which, if I'm honest, I don't know if anyone else sees this, but kind of looks like a Slovene from Doctor Who. I don't know if anyone else thinks this as well, but something about the face just screams Slovene. But yeah, obviously Teddiursa and a Bagon fusion, so pretty good Pokemon. I mean, Salamence is obviously a pseudo-legendary, so if we can get that going, that would be good. Obviously, our luck that a pseudo-legendary Dragon type doesn't have Dragon Rage, as it would have been nice to have that, considering the Dino just completely destroyed us with one. This is all obviously assuming we capture it, which we're having difficulties doing. And as I say that, we catch it, so that's good news. Yeah, so another good addition to the team. I don't think this game has any Scarlet and Violet or Legends Arceus Pokemon in it. I may be wrong. So I don't think Teddiursa can evolve past Ursaring. But still, Ursaring's a pretty cool Pokemon, and obviously Salamence is Salamence, so assuming that we keep them fused, could be cool to see what it turns into. And now we are going into Viridian's Forest, so that's cool. I gotta say, Viridian Forest looks really cool in this game. I gotta say, the graphics in this game are amazing. It really makes me miss pixel art, especially given how 3D Pokemon looks these days. Don't get me wrong, I liked Scarlet and Violet, and I loved Legends Arceus, but graphically the games are very uninspired, let's say. Just including this fight because I thought his second Pokemon that he's just throwing out now was quite funny to look at, a Bellynx. So, you know, running into a lot of Shinx fusions at the moment, which is cool to see because it's my favourite Pokemon. But yeah, I thought Bellynx looked quite funny and also cute in a weird way. But yeah, his final Pokemon was a Yarrow, which we had no problems with. In terms of encounters, not seen a Pokemon that's really stood out. As you can see here, there's another Shinx fusion with Ralts, which is obviously really cool. I mean, Gardevoir is a cool Pokemon. Not only cool, but obviously we have a Shinx, so I'm not going to pick it. And I made this lovely decision to talk to this lady. And she only has one Pokemon, and it is a Gaikwil, which, look at that thing, looks so derpy. Kind of gives me Fuecoco vibes, but yeah, obviously Gible and Cyndaquil, so a very cool combination. I wish we could have this Pokemon. And obviously at this point the penny hadn't dropped. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just curious to know if anyone else has figured it out. But we're going to send out Teddigon for their debut. And yep, obviously it has Dragon Rage because it's part Gible. So at this point I am despairing quite hard. We must be, what, half an hour into the game at this point, and we're ultimately going to wipe out twice. Hoping that my Growlithe can do something, but it's only 2 levels higher, and we don't really have a super effective move, as this thing is Dragon and Fire. Double Kick does a fair amount of damage, but as you can see, Dragon Rage just one-shots us, and not really much else that the rest of the team can do. And so we have our second blackout of the run. So this has been a humbling experience to say the least so far. Cutting back to the forest, we actually find the encounter that I'm going to pick for Viridian Forest, which is a Hoprua, which is, if you can tell, a Hoppip and a Zorua mixed together. Zorua being a very cool Pokemon, and Zoroark obviously being one of my favourite Pokemon, so it would be cool to have that on the team. Not too sure if I'll keep the Hoppip fusion, just because Hoppip and Jumpluff are quite forgettable Pokemon to say the least. Sorry if there are any Jumpluff and Hoppip fans out there. Yeah, managing to capture that was quite cute. But now the situation has changed, because now I realise what this woman can do, and now all of a sudden she's guarding our path. And it's... obviously we can't cross her path because she'll just kill us, so we're just patiently waiting for her to turn. And she has just got this angle on lock. I actually thought my game was bugging out or something, or maybe she only moved when you move. I was like, what is going on? Why is she not turning? But as you can see, I'm moving and she's not moving, and... obviously, there's nothing I can do because... oh, and then she finally turns. Oh my god, she almost caught us lacking there, but we got past. Hopefully we don't have to come across her again. Hopefully we don't have to come across her again. And yeah, coming out the opposite side of the forest. That ended up being far more traumatic than I expected it to be. But finally at Pewter City, so, you know, location of the first gym badge. This lovely man gives us a rappel, so... Yeah, I'm not including all of the NPC interactions, but I would say that in this game they're quite good. People are quite generous, you know. The beauty of a ROM hack game, so... And we're just going to pop into this Pokemon because obviously the Viridian City Pokemon didn't seem to have Pokeballs, which I thought was quite weird. Nor do they have them here. So at this point I'm a bit confused as to what's going on. I'm already quite low on Pokeballs. But this lady, I think it's a lady, is that a guy? I don't mean to misgender them, but yeah, it's telling us to check out the hotel. Hopefully we don't get cancelled for that. And yeah, this game's got quite a cool feature. I don't know, this game essentially has, well, we're going to get told about it in a second, but essentially side quests where NPCs give you like tasks to do for them and then they'll give you prizes, as this man is explaining to us right now. So she's asking for tiny mushrooms, I believe. 3 tiny mushrooms. Although when I was in Viridian Forest, all the mushrooms I was coming across were poison mushrooms, so that was a bit odd. This guy wants us to show him a fully evolved book type Pokemon. And this guy lost his revive on a bench, so we gotta go find that for him. But yeah, so I'm not too sure if I can do the tiny mushrooms, just because for some reason I was only getting poison mushrooms. But one of the encounters I got in Viridian Forest does actually meet one of the requisitions for that person seeing a fully evolved book Pokemon, so I think I'm going to try and do that, because I'm curious to see what kind of rewards you get. But first of all, we're just going to grab this guy's revive, which we actually end up missing just then. But yeah, as we go back we find it on that bench, so that's one of the tasks done. And now to find a fully evolved bug Pokemon. But what I hadn't considered was that obviously that meant the Gate Guardian of the Viridian Forest had to be managed again. You can see she almost got us there, which was very close. Coming up against another Ralynx. And we actually come across, in our search for the fully evolved bug Pokemon, we come across this Pokemon, a Totocarp, which is a Totodile mixed with a Magikarp. And yes, even though we have technically captured Pokemon in Viridian Forest, I really wanted this Pokemon because Totodile and Magikarp, I mean Gyarados and Feraligatr are such cool Pokemon. It would be so sick to have this on the team. So I'm going to give myself some leeway and try and capture it. But I hope you guys agree with my decision. But as you can see, we're having difficulties actually catching the damn thing. And I believe... I wasn't really paying attention. How many Pokeballs do we have left? I don't think it's many. Oh, we're down to our last 2. Obviously being part Magikarp, I was very hesitant to actually hit this thing because it's only level 5. But I guess the Totodile rates are screwing us over because we're barely getting any shakes of the Pokeball, and now we're down to our last Pokeball. So not being able to find any of the Pokemon is really hindering us here. I thought I may as well try and hit it rather than waste a final ball. And Tackle actually did just under half, so I can technically hit it twice and it should still live, which it has on red. So fairly confident that this Pokeball will work, hopefully, our last Pokeball. And we don't even get a shake. So, I mean, what can we do? We just have to leave it, I guess. We desperately need to get more Pokeballs, so I need to figure out what's going on there. Decided to just take the XP. And... yep. So try to get back to the Pokemon to get Pokeballs, because obviously I need to capture this bug Pokemon as well, and obviously we've been caught. So here we are again. Guyquill. The bane of our existence. Actually, he's a tackle though, not a Dragon Rage, so yeah, I was a bit confused by that. I did mention him hoping I'd get like a super effective move, but yeah, then it decided to use Dragon Rage. So AI giving us a little bit of hope for a second there, and then promptly taking it away from us. Once again, trying something with double kick, and yep, getting killed. And as you can imagine, the rest of the team being low leveled did not fare very well at all, and we blacked out again. So forget Mike, my Goxmore. The real rival we have in this game is this damn lady in Viridian Forest who is just guarding the entrance as well. But yeah, going back to the Pokemon to see maybe if I somehow missed that they had Pokeballs, but they don't. So it's rather dumb of me, but at this point I'm very confused as to what's going on. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go back to the Viridian City Pokemon and check again to see if they have Pokeballs. Which obviously means I have to go through Viridian Forest, which obviously means I have to get past my arch nemesis. At this point I should... So again, playing the waiting game, she almost caught us there. She's got this angle on lock. And I don't know why I just didn't wait, I'm so impatient, but yeah, tried to go up around and then she turned the second wheel. Got that obviously, and yep. I mean, I'm not going to try and lie and pretend something different happened. You know what happened. So we go again. Trying to make our way through Viridian Forest. We get past her. Outside of the forest. Viridian City. We get to the Pokemon. No Pokeballs. No Pokeballs. So I don't know why it took so long for the penny to drop, but then I realized it's because for the randomizer settings I put on randomized shop items, not realizing that it would also randomize like key basic items like Pokeballs and I guess potions. I wonder if I just got lucky with DNA splicers, because I imagine that's a similar thing. But yeah, so obviously I have to go and fix that in the randomizer settings, so we just quickly went and did that. So as you can see, we just quickly turned that off and fixed the settings. So now, ideally when we go to the Pokemon, they will have Pokeballs, so let's see. Okay, no Pokeballs, but the items have changed, I think, to what they should be, and if we talk to the other person... And yeah, there you go. So we have Pokeballs now, so yeah, my mistake, and it was dumb of me to not clock earlier, but we move. Getting some Pokeballs. Already dangerously low on money because our arch nemesis keeps wiping us with that stupid Guyquill. So now, back in Viridian Forest, equipped with Pokeballs, looking for either this Pokemon, Totocop, which we are still going to try and capture. And after getting it down to the red with a few licks from Teddigon, which I was hoping to get the paralysis from, but we didn't actually get. Hopefully now we'll actually get it in the Pokeball. And weirdly enough, we get it first time, so not too sure what that's about, but yeah, really good addition to the team. So trying to remain positive despite the ass whooping we've been taking. Now we just need to find this fully evolved bug Pokemon. So many encounters later, as you can see.
20 minutes later.
I finally found the Pokemon that I ran into when I was going through the forest the first time. It's so typical that when you're looking for it, it takes ages to find. But yes, a Butterchew, which is obviously a Butterfree, and a Pichu, which is a really cool sprite by the way, it looks sick. To be honest, if I didn't have an electric type already, I would kind of consider just using it as on the team. But even then we have to unfuse it to get the Butterfree, which is what the kid wants to see, because I realise it doesn't technically count as a fully evolved Pokemon if both the fusions aren't evolved, which makes sense, but he only wants to see the fully evolved bug part. But yeah, managing to catch that, so we can go and complete our side quest, right? Or so you would think, but there's still one last hurdle to navigate, and of course, the second we go past her, she turns and catches us. Outrageous. Bugcatcher Lana, you are the bane of my existence, and this stupid Guy-Quill. And yep, as you can imagine, just getting absolutely destroyed. But I guess it gets us to Beauty City, thanks to the Pokemon Center wiping out. But yeah, hopefully we never have to come across her again. And if we do, we should be much higher level and we can wipe that stupid Guy-Quill off the face of the earth. In fact, I'm going to make a point to come back when I have Pokemon over 40 HP and destroy that thing, because it's been the cause of so much embarrassment. But yeah, actually, I'm fusing a Pokemon for the first time. I haven't even fused a Pokemon yet. And yep, we have unfused Pichu and Butterfree, so it's that easy. I'm not too sure if unfusing a Pokemon uses up a splicer. I hope not, but I didn't actually check. But yeah, grabbing the Butterfree because we need that to show to the kid. And what does he give us in return? Whoa, he's so big. Okay, let's relax. Relax. I didn't get Pedos. We obtained a Tanlia, so we actually got Pokemon for that. I'm not too sure what a Tanlia could be. Oh, okay, just skipping ahead. I did check Tanlia. Tanlia is a Tangrowth and a Curlier, so quite a cool combination. Obviously, again, Gardevoir or Gallade, cool Pokemon. Tangrowth and Tangela, not so much, but yeah, we just quickly did this quiz in Pewter City Museum so we can learn Mudslap. Trying to decide who to teach it to. I probably should have just gone with Growlithe for Stab, but I thought teaching it to Totokart might be wise just because it's obviously weak to electric types, so having ground for coverage might be good. But I think I should have just given it to oh no wait, you wouldn't even be stabbed with Growlithe now even, because Growlithe knows fire and poison. So ignore me, I'm just being dumb. But we finally made it into the gym. Took a long time and many ass whoopings. But nothing can be worse than Bugcatcher Lana. So, obviously going up against Brock's first trainer. You are light years away from Brock, so this guy is just, you know, dick riding Brock so much. His #1 fan. And he sends out a Shield Chum. Okay, so a Shieldon and a Smoochum. So the way the gyms are randomized are that they... If I did it correctly, they should still all have one type. But I don't think it should... I think the type should be randomized. So either I've got really lucky and it's come out to be Rock, or I haven't done it properly and he's still keeping the Rock type. But obviously we're randomized Pokemon which have the Rock type. I guess we'll only know until we get to the second gym. But yeah, I was surprised that Double Kick wasn't proving to be super effective there, because I thought if it was Smoochum it would be Ice and Rock, which would be quad effective, but I guess not. But you can see against that Larvitic that it was super effective, which was a cool Pokemon to see. Joltik and obviously Tyranitar are really cool Pokemon, so a full evolved version of that would be sick. But yeah, dispatching his minion, we now get to fight Brock for our first gym badge. So a cool thing about this game is that you can only enter the same amount of Pokemon that the gym leader has for a battle. So Brock only uses 2 Pokemon, so we can only use 2 Pokemon. So I just pick my 2 strongest Pokemon. I'm planning to just sweep with Growlithe hopefully, but I also take Tanlia as well. And he starts off with a Isola, which is an Eevee Corsola fusion. It looks cute, but also I'm kind of glad to kill it because it just kind of like it's in pain. But very easy Pokemon. I mean, Growl I think is Rock and Normal type, so quite effective. I did want to learn Poison Sting for stab, but it only does 15 damage, so I decided to leave it. And let's see what he sends out next. A Cottonados. So a Cottony and a Rampardos, which that sprite looks very odd indeed. I mean, that thing definitely looks like it's in pain and needs to be put out of its misery. Double kick doing over half, so unless he comes out with something strong, we should be fine. Actually getting paralyzed with Stun Spore. But it only hits us with Pursuit after it outspeeds, which actually does a fair amount of damage, but one more double kick gets the job done, and we have beat Brock. You know, compared to other people we've come across, Brock was a piece of cake. And just like that, we got our first badge, so yeah. And also as a reward for beating Brock, we got a premium Wonder Trade ticket, so I'm going to go curious to see how that works. And look, this guy is just doing tricks on it. The way he's glazing Brock is ridiculous. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this first episode. As we go to redeem our premium Wonder Trade ticket, I think I'm going to end this first episode with our first badge. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope the gameplay wasn't too painful to watch. I can't say I was thrilled to get my ass beaten that much, but still enjoyable time, and I'm excited to play the rest of this game, see what our fusions evolve into. And if you guys want to see particular fusions or see me unfuse and fuse certain Pokemon that we have on the team, let me know and I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, so let's just, before we go, we'll quickly do our Wonder Trade. So I decided to give it to Tanlia for the Wonder Trade just because I don't really like Tangrowth, and I thought, I don't know, we might get something cooler. And we got Frodo, which I believe is just the nickname of the Pokemon, and it's a Anorith and a Shedinja, which is a very cool combination of Pokemon. Obviously Shedinja may have Wonder Guard because of Shedinja, which would be very cool. But yeah, we'll have to see in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully people want to see more. I probably will try and upload more regardless, but ideally people will enjoy it. And yeah, see you then.